see how I'm going to do this. Okay. Hey guys, what's up? It's Kat, and if you saw that half attempt of me trying to lift a bunch of books, that was a failure. I feel like I'm out of breath now. And the sad thing is I didn't even get all of the books in shot, so I might have to retry it at the end. So, in the past few months, I have accumulated over 25, 30 books, and I know it's crazy, and about 20 of those books I've accumulated in the past week and a half. So, how, you may ask? Little story. So in February, I went to a lot of used bookstores and Goodwills, and I was always finding really great books that were on my list that I wanted. Well, I decided to stop buying books, and then when we were going down to Texas, I realized I wanted to buy a lot of books during spring break, and so that was like, I'm gonna wait, I put myself on a mini book buying ban until I go on spring break. Well, as I was driving down to Texas, a lot of people had been telling me about half-priced bookstores, and Minnesota does not have those. I think they have one. And when I looked it up, Texas has a lot of half-priced bookstores, and I discovered my love of half-priced bookstores. So the first books that I'm going to be showing you are books that I got from Goodwill and used bookstores. The first book that I got is The Last Long by Nicholas Sparks. I have already read this book, but my mother owns the soft-covered book, and so when I walked into Goodwill one day and I saw this, I realized I want my own copy. It's one of those books that I really love picking up, especially when I'm just having a really bad day. The next book that I picked up at a Goodwill store is Generation Dead by Daniel Waters, and it's pretty much, it's about how there's this disease, this phenomenon spreading across the world, and teenagers are coming back to life, and this girl has a prom date and he's kind of dead. It was one of those impulse buys. So the next two books aren't really books, they're more of guidelines, and that is Italy and Spain. I'm going to Italy or Spain in a year, and so I kind of wanted to have like a guide of places to go, things to see, so I picked up these babies. The next book that I bought at a Goodwill store is Just Listen by Sarah Dessen. Sarah Dessen is one of my go-to authors when I just really need a really happy pick-me-up contemporary book, and her contemporaries are always ones that always have usually a happy ending or a resolved ending that I always enjoy, and Just Listen was one of my favorite Sarah Dessen books. And so about a girl who is pretty much perfect. She's a model, but she's also not as perfect as people would think. She's dealing with a sister that has eating issues, she's dealing with a mother that has perfectionist ways, and she's dealing with this guy that's kind of a douchebag entering into her life, and she's trying to realize like she doesn't need to be perfect. So the next book I got is a book I've already read again, and it's a book my mother owns, and that is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I've already read it, but my mom owns all the copies, and I kind of want copies for myself because I love The Hunger Games and I don't want to always have to borrow mom's, especially since I'm moving. And if you guys haven't read this book, I seriously recommend it. I cannot wait for the third and final part coming up this November. Alright, and then the last book that I got from a used bookstore is Lock and Key by Sarah Dessen. This is another one of those pick-me-up stories. I haven't read this one. I don't really know what it's about, but I've always enjoyed Sarah Dessen's books, and if you have read this book, I definitely suggest that you comment below. It was literally 99 cents, and I was not about to pass it up. Alright guys, that is all for the Goodwill books that I bought and the used books that I bought. Now let's move on to all of the books that I bought from the half-price bookstores down in Texas, and there is a lot of them. So if you guys remember in my last video, the top 5 series that I wanted to read, then you'll realize that a lot of those books are in this book haul. And the first book that I bought from the half-price bookstore is Withered by Lauren DeStefano, and yes, this is one of the books from my top 5 series that I wanted to read. When I walked into this half-price bookstore, it is one of the biggest, and I mean the biggest half-price bookstores I have ever seen. Like, it was a warehouse. It was a huge warehouse, and I bought a lot of books. Wither is about a world that has been changed by modern science. Guys can only live until I think they're like 25, and girls can only live until they're 20. And so pretty much what women are used for is breeding. They need to keep the population up, and so women are sold or married off to rich men, to people that will continue the breeding line so that the human population is stabilized. And this girl named Ryan Ellerly is married off to a rich man, and while this rich guy is falling in love with her, she's trying to find a way to escape, especially from her father-in-law, who is actually trying to figure out a way to save the human race and to stop this genetic change. The second book that I bought is the second book in the Chemical Garden series, and this is Fever. The next book that I picked up from a Half Priced Bookstore is Sever, and this is the final book in the Chemical Garden series. And just guys, I bought all three of these, and they were less than $4 or $5 at a Half Priced Bookstore. And look at that cover. You have got to admit that that is a beautiful cover. The next book that I bought is a book that I've been hearing a lot about on BookTubing, and when I came across it in Half Price Bookstore, I was super excited. And this book is Rebel Belle by Rachel Hawkins, and it is about a girl that just is really only looking for prom and her formal, and all of a sudden she comes into this power and she's attacked, and she soon finds out that she's a guardian, especially a guardian for someone that she really does not like. So this next book is something I'm really excited about because of the fact that I have the full series and I can finally start the series. And that is the second book in the Infernal Devices Clockwork Prince. And I have just started the Infernal Devices series, guys, and I'm amazed. I already like Tessa. I'm like literally only 20 pages in, but I'm already in love with Tessa. You guys need to tell me how this book is. Is this series something I'm gonna like? I mean, I'm kind of already liking it, but I didn't really like the Mortal Instruments series, but I'm just a little worried that I'm not gonna like this series, so reassure me, guys. Is this something that I'm gonna really like? I heard that it's better than the Mortal Instruments, so really comment below on that. So, quick story. As I was walking around Half Price Bookstores, I had this conundrum. I had this idea. And so I went up to the information desk and I said, "Good sir," I really didn't say that, but I said, "I was wondering if you have the Lord of the Rings movies in the extended edition, and if not many of you know, the special extended edition for Lord of the Rings is the most beautiful thing you can ever watch. And if you also know how much they cost, if you look on Amazon, and I dare you to look on Amazon, type in Lord of the Rings Special Extended Edition, all three of them cost $200 together, and separately they cost $60 a piece." And he said, "Yes, we do have it." And I bought the whole series in movie form. I'm so glad that I bought them, guys. They're my babies. The next book that I bought is 1,000 Pieces of You by Claudia Gray. I've heard a lot of you talk about this book, and I've heard a lot of people on book blogging talk about this book, and when I found it for $2.90, I was like, heck, I'm going to pick this baby up. I'm not really sure what it's about. It's a modern science book, and it's pretty much, I think, her father dies, and there's realms, and she knows who it is, and she's been following him from realm to realm, but then she kind of actually starts to fall in love with him. I'm not really certain about what it is, but I must say that the cover is gorgeous. The cover is absolutely beautiful. So the next book that I bought from my Half Price Bookstore is Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Taylor. I have not yet started the Daughters of Smoke and Bone series, but I do own the first one, and now I own the second one, and the cover is once again very beautiful. I don't really know much about it. I know there's a lot of monsters involved, and this girl's a guardian, or she's a fighter, or something along those lines. So I'm not really sure what's going on in the series, but they were on my Christmas list and I did want to start them. Kind of for the covers, but also I knew this was synopsis once upon a time. So if you guys know anything about the Daughter of Smoke and Bone series, please comment below. So the next book that I got is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. So personally, I once knew what this book was about. Now I really don't, but I kind of remember it. So it's about a girl that is a dream walker, and she pretty much has this clairvoyancy, and she works under the government or whatever that government is. And one night while she's walking home, she is drugged and kidnapped, and she's taken where she is held captive by a man that is the warden, and he has his magical abilities, and she kind of starts having feelings for him. What you guys have heard of it? Have you read this book? Is it any good? The next book that I bought is The City of Lost Souls. It is the 5th book in the Immortal Instruments series. And yes, I just said that I really didn't like where the series was going, but I do want to finish the series. I don't want to leave it hanging. So the next book I bought is not from a half-price bookstore for once. I know those books are finally done. This book is actually from Walmart, and that is Crest by Marissa Meyer. It is the 3rd installment into the Lunar Chronicle series. I am excited for winter that is coming out in September, I believe it is. So I want to continue on with the series. I have them all in paperback. So the next stop that I did was a Barnes & Noble stop yesterday. And it was my big hoorah for not buying any books for the next some months. So the first book that I picked up from Barnes & Noble is Alienated by Melissa Landers. And first of all, guys, this cover, look at it. Just look at that beautiful, beautiful cover. I've heard only good things about this series, but I'm not reading it because I've heard good things. It's about aliens, and I absolutely loved the Lux series, and that has aliens, and I have just finished the 5th wave, the first 2 books in the 5th wave series. Loved them. They were about aliens. Alienated. Aliens. I am so excited to be reading this book, and you guys have no idea about my excitement. So, this book is about aliens that have kind of started inhabiting Earth in a little bit, and there is this girl that is going to be living or showing around an alien, because there's the first group of aliens that are coming down to Earth to see if they can cohabit with humans and go to school with humans. And that just sounds super cool to me. The next book that I bought from Barnes & Noble is Alice in Zombieland by Gina Showalter. And I've wanted to buy this book for a really, really long time. So at first I thought that this book was a retelling of Alice in Wonderland, but it is not. It is a lie. That is not what this is, and I thought it was. And I love zombie books. I have quite a few like zombie romance books that I own, and I can never get enough of them. And Alice in Zombieland is a series that I've wanted to start for so long. I wish I kind of own all of them right now, but unfortunately I don't, sadly enough. If you guys have read the White Rabbit Chronicles, please, please, please leave me a comment below and tell me what you thought of them. Did you? So the last book that I have to show you was not even planned. I went to Barnes & Noble having a specific plan that these were the only 2 books that I wanted to buy, but as you walk in, you have a table there full of things that shouldn't be there for a book addict. And I bought the Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales. And it is the most beautiful thing in the world. We're going to unpackage this right now. We're going to take it off and field it because I was waiting to unpackage it. Oh my gosh. It is so beautiful. Like, it is the most, oh my gosh. The binding is gold. It is honestly one of the most beautiful covers, and the art inside of it, guys, it's just gorgeous. And I think what's really cool is that It comes with a ribbon and everything. Oh my gosh, I love fairy tales, and I love books that are old classic books, and I love the old, and I have read a Grimm's fairy tale once, and I loved the writing, and I couldn't pass it up. It was $20. I think if I looked online it was like $35, $40, $45, and I couldn't pass up this chance to own this book and put it on my shelf. Alright guys, that is all the books I have for you. I know. That's all, Katerina, that you bought? Yes. I'm sorry. I probably broke my bank. But yes, that is all the books I have for you. If you have owned any of these books at all, comment below. Tell me below about your reading experiences with these books. Tell me about if you liked whatever of these books. Just comment. That's awesome. And also remember to like this video, give it a thumbs up, and also remember to subscribe for more videos. Alright guys, that is all I have for you. I'll see you at my next video. Bye!